Oh, it broke. Nande desu ka? Nande? An ad. 面白いな。なんでダメなの？じゃあ、一回こうしてリセットするとか refresh the cache OK まあそれでいこう Good evening to all you people on the other side of the world and good afternoon to those of you in Japan こんにちはそしてこんばんは久しぶりですねオフィスが変わりました、my office changed It's a lot of changes. And actually, I'm pretty excited. I actually have like my own office now. That's a first. It's never really happened. There's a bunch of, I just moved into this office, so it's all junky. Everything's a mess. He's here. Zenny's here. What's up, my man? Genki desu ka? Let's put that up there. Yeah. So, what's that little September? I like that little dude next to you. He's like a little dinosaur. Yo, welcome to the community. Shobandama. Is that how you do it? Shobondama. やっぱ、ローマ字になるとね。Hello. Hey, how's it going? Nice to meet you. はじめまして。How are you doing? 英語を勉強してるんですかIf you want to study English, I'm here to help as well. Just want to help people get better at languages, learn how to learn a second language. But yeah. I'm excited to kind of set it up, the new office. なんかこう、やっぱ初めて自分のオフィスのあることになること。その自分のオフィス初めて持つから、結構楽しみ。I'm pretty excited.海外の方と交流したい気持ちはあります。いいですね。それはすごくいい気持ちです。Let's see if I can fix that restream thing. Why is the bitrate bad? It says 6,000. I don't know. Too hard to do everything right. But wonder if I can change it mid output bitrate. Let's just see what happens if I do 4,000. That automatically change? I don't know. どうですかね? どうですかね? ちゃう. I don't know. I'll figure that stuff out later. I swear I changed that last time. そう、でも、多分一番こう楽しみにしてるのは、ここにね。So I'm looking the most forward to not the bright light. I'm sorry about I bet all of you are in your dark little caves, right? I know how it is. So, ちょっと明るいけどね。But that's where I'm going to put my camera. And, my eyes! ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。ごめんなさい。There we go. See? Puns for days with this guy here. Once you become a father of two, you can really get those puns going. You know what I mean there? Reason! Hey! Good morning! おはよう。そう、ギリギリおはようやな。How are you doing today? Yeah, so it's like, all I'll just say is, if there's anybody out there who starts YouTube with a family and like they're doing other stuff, oh my gosh, good for you. I just have, I've like started from zero with everything. Like I didn't know how to stream, I didn't know how to edit videos really. だから結構いろいろなんかもう私が一から全部そのスタートしてるから、その YouTube の動画の編集とか、まあちょっとだけ知ってたけど編集とか、前に結構ずっと前から作曲自分の曲を作ることもしてたから、まあそれはそういうような経験もあったけどね。But it just feels like I'm starting from the beginning for everything, and then it's like when I started to kind of take off on YouTube, it was kind of like a little bit exhausted. Just I wasn't even doing that much. But anyway, I think the biggest obstacle is like just, you know, with me when I didn't have a dedicated office, it's like get the camera out, put the setup, do everything, like get everything set up, and like that's a lot. Like その動画作ろうと思った時、前はね、なんかじゃあカメラ出す、コード出す、いろいろ出す。だからそのなんか結構動画を作るのに簡単な動画でもハードルが高かった。結構。でも、それは自分のオフィス持ってなかったからね。でも、もうここに、まだ、その、角度とかまだ決まってるわけではないけど、I was just like, well, now that I have my own office, I can like put the camera there and then it's like, hey, let's work on a video today. And then it's just like, boop, hey, like, how's it going, guys? Blah, blah. You know, I gotta have my script. But, yeah, like, I just feel, that it is gonna be a lot easier. Just less things to get ready. And, a nice background. This isn't the permanent background, but, even this is nice, you know? Just better than, like, a wall, right? そう。だから、その背景もね、なんか、やっぱりいい背景でやってほしいから、まあ、なんかこういう、こうしたら、ちょっと、なんか一瞬見えるな。That's really weird. Because I'm affecting the frame rate. 面白。Yo! That's actually really cool. Do you guys see that? 日本語ちょっとわからないけど、フレームレート多分昔のゲーム60フレーム You are a ghost, I knew it. Yo, A2, what's up? I've been meaning to pick up DaVinci Resolve, which seems like a very nice video editing tool. That's what I use. I'm using the free version now. It's great. It is not user-friendly in a lot of ways. So you have to kind of learn a lot. And I mean a lot. But it's fine. Like you can use it very basically. It's not that hard. Like cut, copy, paste. It's not that bad. Like in my opinion, if you've ever used, is it Audacity? Audacity, like the audio, that thing sucks. I just like, that is not user friendly at all. The hotkeys are weird too. Yeah, dude, setting all the stuff up is really brutal. And like, it's kind of not even worth it in some ways. Like, if I were to make a faceless Japanese YouTube channel, it would probably do so much better. Which is funny. Like sometimes, I don't know. The thing that I kind of hate sometimes, is I really, I wish I could pay for somebody to like just edit all my stuff. And if I could afford that, I should think about it, but like, or like do a pre-edit, or I don't know. I really don't know, but add a cute Japanese girl voice to it. Yatta! フレームレートが低いからかな。そう、多分もしかしたらね、カメラ今できるかわかんないけどね。I don't know if I can do this while we're using it. So, match alpha. So if the camera is, I think it's 60 right now. 今カメラが60かな。24に変えたら。Whoa. Now there's like a huge delay. I don't like that. That's awkward. NTSC, that might be right. Let's see. Nah, I don't know. It's mostly it has to do with a match output FPS. Is that what I want? Match output. What does this do? Check. All right, we'll just do that. That's probably better. My hand looks funny. Yeah. But so essentially I'm like, if I do this, I'm adding frames. I think what's happening. I'm not a scientist with this. Bridgewater would probably know. But I'm adding frames to the game. Like it's like, you know, because cathode ray tube, it goes like this. ブラウン管はね、もうこうするから。Hey, Lilix! Hey, how's it going? 元気ですか? How are you doing? Good to hear from you. I'm fascinated by my own hand. 自分の手に、なんていうのかな。びっくりしてる。自分の手で、びっくりしてる。Yeah. So, I'm excited about the new Office. Audacity to Reaper. Yeah, I've also wanted to try Reaper. Reaper is similar to DaVinci in that it's like not that user friendly. Oh, there he is. You're blocking the light from the CRT, keeping it from saturating the photosensor in the camera. There you go. See, I knew he would know. Oh, which by the way, Bridge, there was an accident. And my good Super Famicom is broke. And yeah. This one still works. I had two, but it's discolored, so. But I'm sure it's pretty not that hard, but like I want to like take the hardware, some of the hardware out of this one and put it onto this one. Would that be that hard? Like this power outlet is better than that one. That one, if you jig it a little bit, it turns off or resets, you know? Is that hard? Or like if I wanted to use this cartridge loader, like that cartridge loader part, is that hard to like put in or whatever? Because this one works better. Full mainboard swap? Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think the reset button is like broken on here. Or maybe it's just like the actual, so I don't know if it's possible, but also, oh, can I ask you another question? もう一つ質問していい? Lilix, you're moving to Japan? That's super exciting. おめでとう。本当にすごい。What are you going to be doing? Are you studying abroad? Are you working? That is super, super fun. Super fun. めっちゃ楽しいね、それは。絶対楽しい。Right screwdriver. Right, I just knew I had, buy a screwdriver and then it's kind of like, I'm sure I can, these things are so old, there's probably a YouTube video for every single thing. A bit of a MEK or similar and you can make a good try of fixing. MEK, is that like an epoxy or something like that? The case, I already threw away the pieces. It was pretty shattered. Methyl ethyl ketone. I have a question. 質問です。このゲームね、好きなんだけど、it was working, so I would put it in. This is like a very 懐かしいゲーム for me. The first like Mickey game. Teaching English. いいね。Useful for melting plastic. Oh, melting. So you melt it and okay, very interesting. Teaching. Where will you be teaching English? Did you go through JET? ジェットで? それとも自分で仕事見つけて? I just found when I moved to Japan for the first time for work, I just found a random job. I was like, look, I just want to be kind of close to Osaka, and I found a job in Maizuru, Kyoto. And I was teaching English. I taught English a year for that, but it was like 2 hours. It was like a 2-hour bus ride from Osaka because I was dating somebody at the time in Osaka, my ex-girlfriend. And so I just wanted to be kind of close. And yeah, I mean, I was just like, hey, I'm going to apply for this job. And they were like, can you be here in 2 weeks? I was like, no, but, let me see. How about after Christmas? And like they immediately hired me. Like they were in desperate need. So, sometimes if you go to like more didn't pick JET because their applications are only once per year. Yeah, I mean like JET, I think it's a nice setup, I hear. Wait, what happened to my thingamajigger? Oh. There we go. It was a nice setup, but, yeah, I don't know much. You'll be in Hokkaido! Wow, いいな. 俺も北海道住みたいな. I want to live in Hokkaido. That's so, man, I'm jealous. I would love to live in Hokkaido. Anyway, so I like this game. When I was using the other Super Famicom, you know, I could like wiggle it around and sometimes it would work. But do you think if it's not loading, sometimes I get like some, you know, glitchy pixely things if I fiddle around with it? Do you think I just need, there's like usually batteries in here, right? Do you think it could just be as simple as replacing the battery bridge? And if it is, I'm sure I could do that myself with the right tool. I didn't know if all these games have batteries in them, or is the battery just for like saving? Because I don't think this has like a save, no save states or anything like that. The edge connector, yeah, like the little pieces on the bottom. The batteries are always just for saving games. Okay. Because I sold it, and you know, I still have the receipt, and I'm thinking about going back on Sunday. It's been a year, but I'll be like, look, I bought this game. No, like, of course I blew, but yeah, not with this one. Like since the moment I bought it, it just really didn't work. Which, you know, it's like, you guys got to sell me a working game. And if they, you know, if we go to the store and they're like, works fine, then I know it's my machine, and then, you know, I could do something else. But other games work first try. Like the Nintendo games, you know, better made, etc. They work first try. So I think it's the game, and if it is, like, fix it, or, you know, let me have my money back. It was just 700 yen, you know, so like $3. That's the crazy thing, you guys. 日本ではさ、こうゲームとかすっげー安い。めっちゃ安い。もう、I've built, look at this clip, like, これね、別に頑張ってたわけではない。I wasn't really trying to build a collection, but like, I think I can remember most of the prices, okay? Donkey Kong 2, definitely less than 500 yen, so like a couple bucks. Super Mario, this one, I think now it's very cheap again. I think when I bought it, it was like 10 bucks. Still not much. Mario Kart, Donkey Kong 2, huh? Dude, I don't know where my copy of Donkey Kong Country 1 is. I'm a little worried. I need 1. 2 is fine. 2, but 2 is hard. 2 is harder. Probably just because I didn't play it very much as a kid. Mario Kart, F-Zero, which it's okay, but I was like, oh, F-Zero, $4, you know, 400 yen. Star Fox, 600 yen. This one, okay? This is my childhood, okay? And I, like, これね、もうこれ、すごいいい思い出になってるけど、歯医者行くとき、oh, I gotta copy that down. 歯医者行くとき、アメリカ、日本もなんかあるって聞いたけど、歯医者行って、ゲームできる。セガジェネシスのゲーム、その端末あったけど、だいたいなんか5分ごとに変わっちゃうねん、ゲームが。だから5分しかその一つのゲームできないねん。And so it was really annoying, but I used to go to the dentist, and they would have like a Sega Genesis, but every 5 minutes, the game would switch. Do you guys remember that? Have you ever experienced that? And so like they were like test games, but it's like, you're like, oh, I'm getting there. And then it's like Power Rangers. I always remember after either after Aladdin or Simba, Lion King, it would go to Power Rangers. I was like, come on. But this game, Aladdin, every once in a while I'll see, like I used to go to Book Off a lot. In Japan, there's something called Book Off. Book Off, ne? And they sell lots of used games and stuff like that. Isopropyl alcohol rather. Okay, so I can just use a strong alcohol, like 100%, because I have some of that, and that's not going to damage it. Yeptar! ジェリーさんは、今日本に住んでいますか？はい、日本に住んでいます。大阪の近くに住んでいます。Not ethanol. Okay, okay. I'll make sure. Thank you. I guess ethanol is what you would use for your hands, and it might be isopropyl because it is cleaning alcohol. Now that I think about it, so we might have it, but I'll double check. Thank you. On the cartridge, I gotta. Can you like? Gosh, now there's games everywhere. But anyway, Aladdin. I only got to play the first level. Rubbing alcohol, not drinking alcohol. Got it. Yes. That's what the lady said. She was like, you can use nail polish remover. すごい。これね、本当に楽しかった。And then when I saw this, like, this is a rare game in my opinion. And I got it for like, you know, again, 500 yen or something. Thanks, Bridge. And I was like, oh, nice. This is, like, I was so happy to find it. And I've never seen a copy again. Never seen one again. Another very rare game that I've yet to see again in Japan. And this, like, I swear, dude, I'm so glad that I bought it when I saw it. I was like, oh, I want that. I'm going to buy it just in case. This is like one of my favorite games of all time. And a lot of people don't even know what it is. It's called Smash TV. これ日本で、見つけて本当にびっくりした。これね、知ってる人は少ない。本当は。で、もともとは、ゲームセンターでしかできないゲームで、まあ、端末でできるようになって。で、これ、すごい、若い時に友達の地下室で一緒にやってたからすごいいい思い出になってて。Pokemon Green? You mean this Pokemon Green? This is the first Japanese game that I bought because I had a Game Boy. これですね. It's backwards, of course. I still don't understand like how this one works. Can you get, what was it? Red version was Ekans, right? So can you get Ekans and what was the other one? Spearow? I can't remember. Can you get Ekans and the other one in this game? I don't know. I never really figured it out. Sorry, I know there's a lot of comments. So, oh, on the console side, let's see. Either replace the cartridge slot connector or wrap a paper coffee. I can do that around a plastic card such as oh, to try and clean the contacts there. That's a great idea. That's a great idea. I have plenty of coffee filters. You have a Japanese copy of Star Fox in a box around here too. I played Mario Sunshine at McDonald's and I wanted a GameCube. Yeah. Man, it's I have so many other games. And I've like total, I probably don't, you know what the most expensive one is? And now it's cheaper, but this was the most expensive. Kirby Superstar. Good memories with this game too. So fun. Probably one of the most fun two-player games you can do. And it's awesome because it really, like, I really love the design of this two-player game because you can have a, like, it can be me and a 3-year-old. And he can just do whatever. It doesn't, I don't know. I think this is, I mean, it's pretty rare. It was not, no. At the time, it was 2,600 yen, 2,400 yen. It was a little bit more, like 15, 16 bucks now. But again, it's not that expensive compared to some of the crazy ones. But it's definitely the most expensive one that I've had. Now I think it's more in the 1,200 yen, like, you know, $8 range. MG Chemicals. Yeah. Aladdin, you played it on your Game Gear. Dude, Game Gear, like, if you had a Game Gear, and I remember I was in elementary school and a middle schooler friend had it, I was like, what the heck is that? He's like, it's called a Game Gear. I was like, it's not a Game Boy? Game Gear? And I had never even heard of it when he first showed me. And it was cool. It was cool. It was very cool. I think I don't remember if his was color. It was way too long. I just remember we were in my elementary school cafeteria after school for some reason, and we were like waiting for parent pickup. Some kind of activity. Yeah, it was the batteries. The batteries, dude. Like, it's like 8 batteries, right? Crazy. So cool. But way ahead of its time in a lot of ways. It was very cool. San Diego. That's cool. You're still one. I think my son's local dentist, I think they have something like that right now. So, not drinking alcohol. Yeah. This is definitely not drinking. If you drink enough alcohol, you convince yourself it's clean. A2, you know Smash TV? Yeah, dude. It is it's a hard game. It's very hard. But it's so achievable. It's hard but achievable, and it's crazy. And I really love it. Never beaten it. Very hard. Color, the game color. Any color handheld back then, truth or batteries, yeah. But I mean, so it was 6, okay. I mean, Game Boy Color, back then, yeah. And then Game Boy Color came out, and it was just 2 batteries. It did go through them much faster. It's very true. I got rid of my Game Boy Colors back at home because I ended up using some of the money to like buy like family photos, and then I didn't know of its value, and long story short, I had Fire Emblem, what is it called? The GameCube Fire Emblem game, whatever it's called. And when I looked up the price, it was like $360. I was like, what? So I had that. And it's a little bit of a bummer because I had the game sealed forever. My mom bought it for me. I never played it. And then one day I was bored. I was like, psh, I undid it. I put it in. I was like, this game sucks. It's not my style. So I put it back in the case. So it's perfect. It was perfect condition. And, but if I had it sealed, then it would have been worth like 1,000 or more, which is very cool. But somebody got it, and maybe hopefully somebody will play it and it'll be cool. The Nomad, I think I've heard of that. And the Turbo Express PC Engine, yep. Color display, no battery life. Fluorescent backlight, right? Well, that was like they had backlights. Okay, yeah, that's a chunker. What was it? It was Nandake. Yeah, so the Game Boy Color, I just remember no backlight, but I always, I put the little worm light. I think they were called worm lights, weren't we? Just called them that. And that was like revolutionary. Just having a light for nighttime and we were in the car was just so cool. Like, oh, I can finally see. I really miss those. Those are, I don't know if I miss them. They're just wonderful memories to me. Like playing in the car late at night, batteries dying, and like you see the little red light. It's like, and it's like almost there, and you're like, please just hold on just a little bit longer, battery, please. And you're just hoping and praying like that you'll make it to the save point. Or you're like, don't fall before I forget to save, and then you forget to save sometimes, and you're like, no. But like, it's a good feeling, It's very strange. It's very strange, and I don't know. There's a part of me is like optimization is unoptimal, is not optimal, you know? Auto saving all the time. I don't know, you know? Like sometimes like because you forgot to forget. Now, I don't want like pure no save. I don't like that all the time, but it's like, you know, I really like checkpoints. Checkpoints I think are great, you know, and it's like Sonic, like the first Sonic game had no save file, right? It was just checkpoints and then you got to do the whole game. I didn't like that, but you know, so I would like that, but I don't know. There's something about like non-optimal is optimal, is the way that I feel sometimes. Dr. Mario, I never played it really, because it was like a Tetris type game or whatever. I was like, I was just too young to really enjoy that kind. You remember seeing the Nomad at Toys R Us and wanting to buy it? Yeah. I have my original Game Boy Color with the box and manual, looks brand new. Apparently sell the set for like 400. Yeah, Game Boy Color, very desirable. That I think I told you guys, but I found a Game Boy Color or Game Boy Red, like a red original Game Boy. Here, I'll go get it. ちょっと待ってね。よいしょ。よいしょ。Boom. So I found this in the trash downstairs at right where my trash is. It had literally never been used or opened. Just it was probably sitting in somebody's like dusty closet forever. Like yeah, there's not even there's no. Sensei, oh, 久しぶりです. Not salty sushi. Genki? So, like, the buttons have never been pressed. There's, like, no oil or grease. There's some scratching, because it was in the case. Looks like it... Some kind of scratching. Probably because they were just rough with it, but... Yeah. Oh! Am I stupid? That's where all the... Bro. So these are rechargeable Amazon batteries, and like, you know, I probably put them in there 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, and then like I'm looking around the house, I was like, I swear we had more Amazon batteries, and so funny. Well, that's good. Now, that's so funny. 面白いな。どこって思って。Yeah, these are rechargeable, so I assume they don't really corrode, at least not quickly. Wow, these are tight. These springs are so fresh. Ugh, what the heck? I'm going reverse. Ugh. Wow, those are some strong springs. Yours is pinkish. This thing is like, I really don't think it's been used like almost
My life
at
is
all.
good.
Hey! Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. 29 months, man. That's actually hard to believe. Thank you so much. You know, even though I don't really stream as much anymore, every once in a while, I get a little bit of like a paycheck from Twitch, like every 6 months or something like that, and it's really nice. It's just like, you know, $50 or something, but it's awesome, and it makes a difference, so I appreciate it. ねえアンバー、久しぶり。みんな元気か？おかげさまで元気です。私？何してたんですか？私。明けましておめでとうございます。今年も皆さんよろしくお願いします。Well, now I have 4 more batteries. I'm very happy. Because I made a big mistake when I bought this mouse, and it uses rechargeable batteries, or it uses batteries. I was like, I'm not going to pay 5,000 yen for a rechargeable mouse. I should have. Rookie mistake. 自分の場合は、元気ですよ。So, I'll say two things. Japanese time. Here we go. Hold on. Let me catch up these comments. Water. Game Boy systems didn't have backlights. They're undisputed victors for hand. They have battery life. Yeah, everything was about battery life. You know, you go traveling. There's, yeah. Some Game Boy games autosaved. Yes, soft lock that way. I remember. I forget which ones. What autosave? Yeah. They included the RNG state. It would save you. Get hit with a random. Yep. I do remember doing that for some games. Like, I remember, like, crap. I didn't, like, Pokemon. I remember doing that a lot with Pokemon. Like if my Pokemon were almost dead, I would save and then start going through the grass or whatever. And then if I ran into a Pokemon, I'd turn it off. Is a soft reset? Is that what it's called? So I'd turn it off and then I'd turn it back on. I'd be like, try to walk again, save. Like I would walk like 5 steps, save, walk 5 steps, save. That was fun. Tamagotchi. I think my sister had a Tamagotchi. I had a Pokemon Pikachu. Are we back? There we go. Welcome back. Here we go. There we go. We're back in business. Sorry. It's well, maybe it saved my new setting. Output. No. Come on. Go to, what is it? 2500. Whatever. Hey. Anyway, what were we talking about?
My life is good.
Yo, Cyber.
Really good.
Oh, Lilix, was that you on YouTube? Okay. I guess I didn't make the connection. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you. A Twitch Prime sub. Those are special. Thank you so much. Arigatou gozaimasu. I really appreciate you guys. Well, a hype train. Oh, I used to have a hotkey. Oh, what was it? All right, let's see how good my hotkey memory is. Something like this. What was it? Damn it. What was it? There's like some hotkey I had for like a bunch of trains. What was that? Oh, not that. Darn it. You forgot you had a Twitch account? Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. What was it? Oh well. Yeah. Don't worry about the hype train. I just wanted, it reminded me of, konnichiwa. ずいぶんむずい名前やな。鬼さんで行こう。鬼さん。ハイプ電車来るかも。ストーカーさん。大丈夫。We don't need any hype trains. That would just make us a little bit too excited. こんにちは。はじめましてですね。私 JD です。JD です。So, quick little Japanese lesson, and then I'll talk about the hiragana katakana thing and how ChatGPT says what to do. So basic stuff, okay? So textbooks, and we always learn, it's like, o genki desu ka? Okay. This is fine. It's not wrong, but it always leads to problems, and it just makes me go like, look, let's just teach what's more normal. Okay, genki desu ka? Okay, and you can do it with a maru period or not. どっちでもいいよ. Genki desu ka? Okay, experienced Japanese people, what is the response for genki desu ka? Genki desu ka? Or better yet, what's the response? Here's the real question. What's the response for o genki desu ka? そうなんですよ。そう、リーゼントさん。そう、おはなくても OK。かもじゃなくて、全然なくても大丈夫。全然なくていいから。で、これ実は日本人も間違えたりするんです。This is actually a mistake that I definitely hear Japanese people make sometimes too. And they don't really realize. Not a lot of people, but let's just say 10%. I think some people mess this up. But because they're not thinking, and it's just, yeah, it's because it's like not even that common to ask, o genki desu ka? So, if you are asked, o genki desu ka? The correct response is, nani? そうですね。名前の読み方、 難しいんですね。赤狼というゲームからのキャラクターです。ああ、それは知らんわ。でも、赤狼は知ってる。もちろん。I know that game. そのキャラか。そう、やったことないんだよね。あれ。でも、そういうゲーム、面白そうとは思うんだけど、やったことない。なんか、Dark Souls とかあるじゃないですか。あれも、やったことない。なんか、一人でするゲームは、俺結構苦手っていうか、すぐ、なんか面白くなくなる。まあ、そういう意味で、配信でそういう一人でするゲーム、は、もしかしたら楽しいかもしれないですけどね。確かに。けど、僕、なんか、配信しながらゲームするのも下手。ゲームするのは下手じゃない。ゲームしながら配信するのは下手。そう。But yeah. お元気ですか？元気です。Okay? Do not add the O, when you respond. And so more simply, like, look. 元気ですか？元気です。元気？ Okay. Here's the next question. What's the response for plain Japanese or casual Japanese? So, 元気ですか？元気です。Or, はい、元気です。Whatever. But what would 元気? What's the response for just 元気? JD! 元気？答えは元気じゃないです。ふざけるな。How dare you? お前はうるさいよ。何もしてないんだけど。そうなんです。水？元気だ。面白いね。でもね、お兄さん。普通の日本語の会話で考えましょう。テキストの日本語じゃなくて、友達と話してるんやったら、ほんまに自然な日本語とは、ほんまに自然な日本語だったら、どう答えるかな？元気だ。そう。俺は元気だけだと思う。もちろん元気だとは言えるけど、you can say 元気だ。Yes, I think you really should just say 元気。Now, this is where it's interesting. Can you say 元気だよ? 元気だ I think is strange. でも元気だよ? What about that? 元気だ I think makes you sound like an anime character. Or unless you're like super Genki and that's your personality and you're like, 元気だ I am just full of energy. 元気だ 元気だ That could be you. It's not impossible, but the problem is like you need the proper delivery to do that. And if you don't have that perfect delivery, and you know, as a foreigner, you're probably never going to at the beginning, like when you're learning Japanese, you don't know those nuanced responses. 元気だぜ元気だぜ I like that. Oh, I'm good. I'm real good. Yeah. おもろいわ。Yeah. 元気だぜ I like it. That's funny. 元気だよ also fine. 元気だよ just a normal response. But in general, I think you'll 元気かな自信ないんかい。元気かな I like it. You know, I just always teach my students like 元気ですか元気です Alright. 元気元気 You know, and you can throw in or whatever, or hi. So hi, some of you probably might not know this. Hi is polite Japanese. A lot of beginner speakers, they'll use hi a lot. So they'll be like, hi. Hi, 食べる。ホックスさん、よー、元気にしてた？もう、 元気にしてましたね。12月までは、本当に多分、I know this sounds weird, but like 多分3年間ぐらい、ちょっとうつ病ではないけど、なんか、やっぱ、まあ、なんだっけ、腰うつ I forget what is it? 抑うついや。ちょっと抑うつみたいな感じになってたかも。気づいてなかった。でも、まあ、その12月中旬ぐらいに、なんか、まあ、結婚の変化その結婚、関係の中の変化があって、なんか、もう全部変わった。で、気分もすごく良くなった。Like, this might sound weird. It's not like I had major depression, but I think because of, like, something in me and Chaki's marriage wasn't, like, meshing well. And, we've been trying to figure it out. And, like, finally, in the middle of December, we figured out, like, what was bothering us really and why it wasn't good. But, like, for that entire, like, 3 years, I think I was, like, pretty depressed. I just didn't realize it. Like, I'm not the type of person to, like, feelings don't bother me. So, like, oh, I'm depressed. Like, there's up and downs within the depression, but I think I was depressed, and I just didn't know it. Because I feel so much better now. It was just 3 years, and I feel so much better. I wasn't taking any medication or anything. I feel much better now. So yeah, I'm very 元気。元気にしてはいなかったけど、今すごく元気だよ。すごく元気だぜ。The casual, you just use the verb, or plus verb. Right. So, はい、食べます。Right? But, casual, we need to say, 食べる. So, if you say, はい、元気, this is also technically wrong. It's not good grammar. It sounds a little unnatural. Or, はい、はい、そう。There are exceptions like, but in general, if we're just looking at grammar, these kind of things are not grammatically correct. Ironic, the kanji for depression is one of the most complex. Yeah. It's usually not written in kanji. So, okay. As a side note, some burnout symptoms coincide with depression symptoms, but the two conditions have different treatments. Yeah, it didn't feel like depression. I don't really know what true depression feels like, but I don't know if it was burnout either. Like, I really wasn't working that hard, this past year especially. Like, but maybe, I don't know. Either way, I feel so much better now. Like, I feel like my old self again. Which is cool because I kind of forgot who I was in a way. ところで、これ読み方知らんわ。見たことあるけど忘れた。なんだっけ。I'm gonna guess 寒が新年 Let's see if I'm right. Dang! Close! 金が新年。惜しかった。ところで、金河新年2025年無事に迎えましたか？迎えました。年末年始すごく楽しかった。もう、いろいろ、なんか、千秋の実家に行って、まあ、美味しいもん食べて、いい話もできて、本当にすごい楽しかった。ちょっとうるさかったけどね。ちょっと部屋が小さくて。It was just, for the end of, New Year's and stuff, went to Chiaki's house. This is too sad. All right, let me change it up a bit. Change it up. Yeah, it was fun. I had a great time. great food, good conversation. It was just a good time. I was really enjoying it. すごいめっちゃ良かった。Let me know if the music's too loud. I'm sure it's not that bad, but just 教えてね。うるさかったら教えてね。フォックスさんはフォックス。One of my very dumb, like, guilty pleasures is being really bad, like, at freestyle rap, but just loving it anyway. Sometimes I do it, but it's embarrassing because I'm not trying to be good. I just want to rhyme. So I don't really care what it rhymes with. I just want to get better at rhyming. So that's why I do it. What is that? I love that the cow has a hand. I don't know what that means, but I really like it. Yeah, sometimes I just rap about the dumbest things. It's a great feeling. So let's just talk a little bit of Japanese. Hold on. どこ行った？これね。I was just, everybody's using ChatGPT nowadays, and that's cool. So I've never really used it before for much. I just thought it would be interesting. 音楽は問題ない。ありがとう。ありがとう。So, this was the question I think a lot of people have. Is like, what should I do once I learn hiragana and katakana? Okay. And I was like, okay, I know what I want to say. I know what I would say. But what does ChatGPT say, and how should we learn from it and compare? 繁盛という配信者の挨拶。へえ。繁盛ってどういう意味？繁盛。So, my personal advice, if you are, this is a little big. I don't want it that big. Should I go down here? That's probably better. So, I think, 結構ね、もし日本の方が見てるんだったら、ひらがなと、最初にひらがなで、その後はカタカナで、そのひらがなとカタカナを、なんていうの、もう覚えた後に、次のステップとしては、もうどうすればいいんですかっていう質問なんですけど、結構ね、みんな漢字全部覚えないといけないって思っちゃう人結構いるんですよ。結構。もう本当に、漢字、もう無理。もう漢字、どんだけあるんみたいな。So everybody thinks that a lot of people think that it's like, okay, I learned hiragana, some katakana. Here comes kanji. But I just, it's this. Here's what ChatGPT says: start learning basic kanji, but that's step 1. Whatever. It's just ChatGPT, so I'm not gonna beat it up and say, oh, it's so stupid. It's just a computer, right? But it says kanji is essential for reading and writing in Japanese. Begin with common, easy to learn kanji that are frequently used in everyday life. Consider using resources like textbooks or apps, e.g., WaniKani, Anki, that help with kanji recognition and memorization. Speaking of Anki, I posted this in my student-only Discord, but I'm sure I've talked to you about it before, but Quizlet now has SRS? Is that what it is? Sorry. 漢字は俺も難しい。ね、漢字は難しいよ。漢字は難しいっていうか、時間かかんねん。時間かかるよ。Kanji, I don't think kanji is difficult. I think it just takes time. I'll show you guys if you want, we'll talk about, how to think of kanji. So what I would say is not good advice. It's like what is ChatGPT lacking is practical advice, and this is, it's just copying what the internet says, right? I don't think what was I gonna say? I think there's an extreme lack of practical advice, probably for language learning, but let's just say Japanese. there's like zero practical Japanese advice that I can find on the internet. It's always stuff like this. What do I do? What you should do is start learning kanji. Learn the basic kanji. But then they don't tell you how to identify what is a basic kanji. Where do I go to find basic kanji? What's a useful kanji? And I have good advice, like practical advice about how to identify that without knowing anything about kanji at all. Study basic grammar. Let's see. Present, past, negative forms. I like that. I totally agree with this. So understanding Japanese sentence structure and basic grammar rules is crucial. Start with the beginner-friendly textbooks like Genki or Minna no Nihongo. I like Minna no Nihongo. I like it. I don't love it, but I like it. I think it kind of focuses more on a like don't think, just do approach, which I like it. So anyway, Quizlet now has like a spaced repetition system. So you really don't need Anki anymore, in my opinion. Like, I mean, if you're using it and you like it, go for it. But now Quizlet is like a user-friendly version and better of Anki. And it has all these games built in. So like you can do like, it's like click game. And then it uses that flashcard set and you play a game with it. It's very fun. It's like very well done. And they're adding stuff all the time. So highly recommend Quizlet over Anki now. 俺も最初、金河新年ってなんて読むのかわからなかった。うん、見たことはあるけどわからなかった。惜しかった。でも、とりあえず、惜しくて嬉しい。as long as I'm close, I was like, I don't know how to read that, but let me guess. And I was very close. I said Kanga and it's Kinga. I'm pretty happy with that. Basic sentence structure, subject, object, verb. Yeah. Basic adjectives and their usage. Like, this is, like, I don't know. Like, if we go to ChatGPT for advice, it's like, what is it like? It's like, somebody asks you to, like, hey, I want to build the Death Star out of Legos, right? It's like, I want to build an X-Wing out of Legos. And they're like, oh, here's the Legos that you need. And this is what they're called. But there's no instructions on how to do it. Is sometimes the way it feels. It's not that drastic, but that's the way I feel sometimes, where they're like basic adjectives and their usage. And it's like, what's an adjective? Like, and in Japanese, what is a basic adjective? Like, I think personally, I've just always felt like people overlook the words that they're using. Like, just study basic grammar. Whoa, what is basic grammar? It's like basic kanji. What is that? Like, if you know kanji, yeah, you have an idea of what basic kanji are. But we're talking to people who have never really looked at kanji, right? Joyo, JLPT, Kanji Kente, remembering the kanji in so many that I feel some learners will be stuck without just starting them. Yeah, like, I always, like, when people, like, tell me this, I was like, look, the first step is not memorizing kanji. I definitely say it is this right here. I think it can be really good to do a textbook, just because it gives you something to do. It gives you homework so that you can work on your motivation. I don't assign a textbook, but because it just doesn't always work. I'm working on making my own textbook, but it's a slow work in progress. But this is what I start with. I've talked about this before a lot. Verbs, adjectives, nouns. And so we have to learn the conjugation. And this is what I teach first. I usually past, so present, which I call now later tense in Japanese. That's what I call it. Because it's something you usually are doing now or later, right? Pretty straightforward. But present I think is a little misleading in Japanese, to be honest. Because present tense is not present tense. Like, if I say tabemasu, like, and it's usually very obvious. Like, if I say ashita tabemasu, right? If it's present tense, right? Like, I eat it like tomorrow. Like, let's be out. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't really think will does not really fit that tense. It's, I know they're very similar in English, but like it's are like going to. So I say like 明日食べますか? 明日食べます. Let's do it with that, because questions change it up in the English, in my opinion. So 明日食べます. I'm gonna eat it tomorrow. 明日寿司食べます. I'm gonna eat sushi tomorrow. That's what that means. Like, there's no other way. And so what makes it very obvious in Japanese is the 明日. 明日, tomorrow. Basic sentence structure. I think you don't really need to go about studying basic sentence. You don't need to go about studying particles necessarily. I think at the beginning, the only particles you really need to understand are the basic usages of de and ni. De is doing a thing at a place, and ni. 久しぶりです。アノンさん。元気にしてました?ねえ、本当に久しぶり。I do plan on streaming more. I know I say that like every time. It's true. It's just life. I got 2 kids, business, and, you know, then somebody gets sick, and then it's like 2 months. We're fine. Like 2 months of that stuff and that, and then it's like, oh, it's New Year's, and so I'm off for New Year's. And ni equals like location/destination. I think those are the only 2 particles you really need to understand with English at the beginning. And then after that, yeah, you kind of just learn particles. Like de is the one, is like so many usages. De is so, don't even try to learn all the days. はい、前忙しかった。そう。アノンはもう最近仕事で忙しい? Are you busy with work lately? So I would don't try to tackle day, right? Don't. Monday, Tuesday, many days. I like it. Almost right. It's funny. I just watched Odyssey with Matt Damon. I don't know. It's like I like sci-fi, and I can just put it on the background. Because I didn't really love that movie. It was like totally different than what I thought it was going to be. I thought it... Anyway. But yeah. Sentence structure, you know, just... If you can have a text or something where it's like goes, you know, small to short to long sentences, you don't really need to study. You don't need to study really anything. It's like just like pay attention. Gosh, if I had one piece of advice for everybody studying a language, like just pay attention. Like, I'm not like mad, but it's like, to me, it was just very obvious. Like, oh, you want to get better, right? Okay. So like, be aware. It's like awareness, I guess, but like be aware of what you're saying and doing. Like if I'm saying, you know, inu wa suki, demo ashita neko ga suki, or whatever, some dumb sentence, right? It's like, okay, and then you hear a Japanese person and they're like, blah blah blah, suki da kedo, blah blah blah, right? Then I'm like, oh, kedo, I learned that means but. Alright, they said it, so I'm gonna say it. Like, just constantly pay attention to, like, and want to change your own Japanese. Like, assume everything you're doing is wrong. Or, oh, not assume, but it's like, always be ready to admit that you're wrong. I think, I don't know any other words for isogashi. I'll tell you one. Bata bata shiteru. 最近バタバタしてて You can say, try it out in like in another stream. If somebody asks 元気最近どう? If somebody asks that or something, just say 最近ちょっとバタバタしててメモしますどうぞ Basic adjectives and their usage, like this, that doesn't really teach me anything. But again, it's just like, this is a video I'm working on now for like I've been putting off the real YouTube videos that I want to do because they're just so long. So it's a really long video that I'm working on. I'm still writing the script, but essentially it's just like, you know, how do I get started? That's what this is all about. It's like, okay, you did hiragana, katakana, great, good job. Now what? And I was like, okay, like let's talk about it, and you know, how to set up the right mindset. Not necessarily for like getting better at a language yet, but like just specifically Japanese. It's telling people I don't even know. Like I hate how I can't organize all of my thoughts, because if I could, we'd solve world hunger or something. I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not that smart. Just like being able to like, oh, I always like recall like the strategies I used to get better at Japanese, and I forget them all the time. And I'm like, or I say them in a lesson, it's like there's just too many, like doing this. It's just, I wish I had a better way of organizing them. Question formation and negation. What does that mean? What does negation mean? Build vocab. Also, like, just so vague. I actually really not. Hold on. Begin with words and phrases related to everyday life, such as greeting, numbers, counters. Yes. If it's this for like the first thing you're doing, yes. Common objects, you got to be careful. Like, it's got to be really. Oh, do I still have that? Oh, dekita. That's not easy at all. もうスーツでいいよ。スーツ。I didn't even know this word. 背広初めて見たよ。初めて見た。背広。すごい。I like it though. It's a cool sounding word. ちょっと背広が。Sounds very like おしゃれ. Like, I like it. Just be careful. Like everyday life, yes, if you can find out what that means. Greetings, yes. Numbers, day of the month, days of the week, days of the month, and stuff like that. If you live in Japan, you gotta know those. But just try to. Common objects is hard, but so don't like go down a weird path. You know, stuff that you'll talk about. It does sound cool. Essential verbs, you know, it's like people don't know what essential verbs are, but yeah. So you got to teach them. Got to get back to work. Thank you, sensei. Bye. Mata ne. So, ore mo soro soro. I got to, you know, fix this office and stuff and make it look good for a YouTube video. Engage with okay. Engage. I like that word. Engage with Japanese content. Simple anime, dramas, or children's shows. I do not watch children's shows. I definitely don't. I don't know why everybody says children's books, children's shows. They're, in my opinion, they're harder. They're harder for you to learn from. And unless you love children's books or children's shows, don't watch it. It's going to be weird. Yes, this is true. Watch subtitles in your native language. Good. But after you do that, you know, don't abuse that. Like, two things that people I hear, they'll say, I'll be like, oh, like what anime are you watching recently? Like sometimes my students, every once in a while I check in and they're like, oh, I've been watching this one. I was like, great. Like, and I watch it with my friend or my wife or whatever. And then it's like, oh, you're watching it. Are they studying Japanese too? And they're like, oh no, we watch it with English subs. I was like, bro, like that's not immersion. You can't do it with English subs. It's good for the beginning, right? You know, you're trying to, oh, interesting. Okay. Just some interesting information. But watching Japanese shows with English subs is not immersion, and it doesn't help. Yeah, right, Bridge? I get it. They're like, oh, it's easier, right? Because kids, it's easier. And I'm like, no. The easy stuff they know, it's easy, but it's just not the order that adults usually learn, and it's difficult. Like, and more than that, it's like, look, kids want and use and need different vocabulary than we do. Like you know, bears and animals, like they want to learn that stuff. They love tigers and dinosaurs and pudding and stuff like that. Like, that's what kids need and want and learn about. Like, that's bad, that's dangerous. Like, it can be used for adults as well, but like imagine if somebody was paying me for lessons and I was just, look, this is a tiger. It's a tiger. This one's an elephant. Okay? The elephant. Do you like elephants? Do you like tigers? Yeah? Elephants are big. They're big, right? Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, you can learn that way. I'll do that to a degree, but not with elephants and tigers. Like, this mountain, there's a big mountain. Do you want to go to the mountain? You want to go? Let's go to Mount Fuji. Let's go. Fuji-san, 行きましょう。行きましょう。行く？行かない？大丈夫？どうしたん？風？ You know, we can do it. Huge amount of just plain linguistic silliness in children's media. Yeah. Like, you know. This is like a book for some age. Right? And no kanji. So it makes a 広い原っぱの外れに洞窟がありました。Okay, the only part that's going to be easy for like one of you guys, like ありました or 広い。洞窟にはマノージャという名前のライオンが住んでいました。You know why kids like this? Is they don't understand almost any of it and it's fine. And then they go, lion! 年取ったお父さんとお母さん。Yo, Greggles Wong! いらっしゃい。ありがとうございます。Thank you so much for the follow. ありがとうございます。I really appreciate it. Are you studying Japanese? 日本語を勉強してますか？ Nice to meet you. Right? 駆け回り。Like, this is hard. This is one of the harder books. Okay, this is not a super easy kids book. 若くて勇敢なマノージャは怖いものなどありません。Like, they get it. 怖い、ありません。Very slowly. Well, that's good. That's how you should learn it, man. You know, I don't know how old you are. 何歳ですか? But, you know, like if you have a job or a family, just this is your hobby, you know, just chill. Like, you know, you don't have to become crazy fluent. Like, just make it fun. Like, you know, achieve a goal that's achievable. Like, I want to like say some stuff that make that your first goal. Or like, I want to be able to like meet somebody or order food, you know? But so those books, it's just, let's see. There's like some other, you know, kids books that are simple, but even like the super simple ones, it's like sounds like pata pata, and it's like, that's just fun for kids. It doesn't, like, what are you gonna go meet somebody and explain how a pancake sounds? That's what the book is about. Sir, hajimemashite, pancake, putsu, fuwa fuwa. いい、はい。ありがとうございます。No. "申し訳ありません." Yeah, that can be a good one. Kids use slang even if they don't. Language specific. Skibbity. Children's media, particularly written, is written assumed there'll be an amazing. Actually, that's such a good point, Bridge. It assumes there's an adult or an older person doing the actual reading and being able to. That's like the perfect point. Thank you. Very good and insightful. Like, it's assuming somebody's going to be doing the teaching. I love it. Yes. So true. Amazing point. I will be stealing that. Language learning is the perfect context to explain how a pancake sounds. That's the start of the YouTube video. Some of you think you're good at Japanese. but you don't know how a pancake sounds. And that's the true definition of fluency. Thanks, guys. Why do so many people recommend the manga Yotsubato for the first manga to read? It's far from easy. Because they don't know what they're talking about, you know. Look, everybody learns in different ways. I have one student, and she's gotten to a very high level. She has really just done tons of written stuff. Like, she's games and manga. And, you know, she's gotten good from that. And so you develop in different ways. But, you know, you really have to, like, I just got a phone call from a friend who they want me to, like, teach English to somebody in their company. I'm thinking about doing that. And it's like, they're like, oh, do you have a textbook? Do you have this? How do you I was like, well, we want, I was like, stop. Like, what is his goal? Like I don't want to do this if he has no goal. But, you know, and so, like, what does he want? Like, what do we want to get at? What does he want to achieve? And it's like, well, this. Great. This is achievable. Like, this can be done. We can actually get him to this place because we're going from a 180 degrees to 10 degrees. If you're only focused on this little slice, like, oh yeah, like I can eat that. But like, here's a whole pizza, you know, oh, eat this half a pizza. It's like, oh, I'm already kind of full. Like, I don't really have time for that. Like, gotta pay Jelly to read me children's books and explain them. Yeah, man. That's like, why else would you take Japanese lessons? Almost done. Use Duolingo Lingodeer. I've heard Lingodeer is better than Duolingo. Duolingo, I recommend, or Lingodeer. Duolingo's free, okay? That's cool. Duolingo is very good. It has a limit. So, like, learn some words. Like, I think Duolingo is a great way to learn basic words and structure. Even if it's wrong, I've heard that there are worse apps than Duolingo. Oh, yeah. Sure, there's some really weird ones out there. But look, Duolingo, they're rich, okay? And I recently have been using it for Spanish just to kind of relearn some Spanish words. Like, that's what I'm using Duolingo now for Spanish. I want to remember the words that I learned a long time ago. I'm learning some new ones, kind of like reminding me of the grammar. I was like, oh, okay, it's una. I forgot about una and un. I don't have no need, right? So it's good. And it's like with Japanese, it would be like, it is 5 o'clock. You learn how to say that. Even if it's not the perfect Japanese, look, it's a very, very good app at motivating you and keeping you going. And they've spent hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of dollars at this point to develop this app, right? Definitely millions at this point. So, I mean, there's probably not a better app out there right now. You know, it's like, remember when Rosetta Stone was all people talked about? It's like, oh, Rosetta Stone, it's the only good option. This is like, you know, Rosetta Stone on crack. Like, it's so, like, good in terms of a language learning app. I'm not saying it's going to make you amazing at Japanese or whatever, but it'll take you to a good spot. Like, it'll take you somewhere. And if you have nothing, it's so much better than nothing, right? Come on. Telling Duolingo your Japanese learning English is a neat hack. Yeah. It's very fun to do that too. I think we did that on stream once. It's like, if you say, I want to learn English, I think, like, you know, once you get to a certain level of Japanese, yeah. I think if I wanted to learn Spanish, I'd probably start by grabbing a copy of El Cid that I have on the shelf somewhere and just trying to read it. Yeah. For me, is like, this one of my New Year's resolutions is to relearn Spanish and become just conversational. So my steps, this is my approach, right? I'm going to use Duolingo to get me into a more of a daily or weekly ritual of studying Spanish. And by doing that, let me remember a lot of the basic vocab, like shirt. I forgot about shirt. Camiseta, right? Like, let me just get the basic words. And once I like do that and build a little bit of a habit, then instead of Duolingo, I'm going to just watch, after Duolingo, then I'm gonna study the conjugations. Just look at them, or find some website that does automatic conjugations and stuff. And then I'm gonna watch shows. And so I'm gonna compare the shows. First thing I'm gonna look for is verb conjugations and natural uses of them. And that's how I learned in Spanish. Like, I was doing it a few years ago. That's how I learned that in Spanish, like, they don't really, it's kind of like Japanese. Like, they don't say like they don't, as far as I know, I will go to the store. They just say I go to the store, right? So I was like, oh, there's some similarities in that in Japanese, and I was like, okay. So, and then through the shows and that kind of process, there you go. Like, and then I'm like getting in more information about how to structure everything. And then with my knowledge about Japanese, I'm gonna every day or every week, there's people at my church that speak Spanish. I'm gonna prepare something to say for them, and then I'll try to improv as we go. So that's my plan. Start writing. I don't know. You don't need to write. If you start a simple dialogue, writing sentences as short paragraphs. Well, yeah, just write sentences. Like, I totally understand, because it's true, but it's like about what and like how. So I always tell my students here, and if you guys don't know about this, and it's been a while since I've shared, but like, please guys, use this. These are just the flashcard decks that I made for my students, but please use them. The verbs, give or take, are fine. Switch it to from not English to Japanese, but Japanese to English. I wish the pictures were on the Japanese side. Oh, one day I'll do that. But time 1, 2, 3, amount, other, and e-adjectives. E-adjectives is fine. But if you study time number 3, so let's do time 1, time 3, amount, and other. Like, those are definitely the most important decks. But I promise you, I know that I'm right now. I had a student who really committed. I was like, look, it's not necessarily, you want something to do, learn these words. And he literally his progress is ridiculous. He's just very committed. In 3 lessons over the period of, let's just say, 3 months, but it's actually more like 5 months. He had like 3 lessons over 5 months because he switches with his wife. And like, lesson 1, it was like, like, keep working, kind of feel it. I didn't say this, but it's just like kind of how it felt. It's like, better. And then after like 2 months of nothing, hey, yeah, Restream bot posts a lot. Yeah, I know there's some way of changing it, but it's just like one thing at a time. Like, I don't stream enough to really like really like, I can't do it today. You know what I mean? It's like one thing at a time. It's like, okay, let's stream for the first time in 2 or 3 months. Okay, right, the titles, this, that. So, how you doing, man? And then that third lesson, I was really shocked, because I wasn't really like talking to him that much. He was just doing a lot of this on his own. And then he was like, I'm going to talk. And so at the beginning of the lesson, sorry, yeah, was it in the description of the YouTube video? I don't even know what it is. Is it just my website? I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a good streamer by any means, but he just came in like 10 or 15 minutes just telling me no. I'm good at talking to people. I like talking to people. So it's fun. It just I'll tell you what, I don't know about you, but dude, streaming and playing games at the same time, I'm sure you've tried at some point. I don't know how people do that. I'm just like, okay, so I go here, and it seems like that's what other people do. Like when they stream, they're like, oh yeah, like this looks cool, and like 500 viewers or whatever, and then I'm like, I do the same things. Like, I'm just not interesting. I just don't, you know, I'm not the same. I'm an animated. Turn your videos into live streams with. Oh, does it? That's so funny. I thought I said it, but restream is weird, and I'm not gonna spend money on like Streamlabs this or whatever. But what is it? Yeah, like if I go to YouTube, I haven't even checked the YouTube stream today. You've got good viewers, good hand motions, good sound, good lighting. Sound is most important. Lighting, it's good today. That's just natural out of my window. It probably looks extra good today because hold on, let me make this into that again. Where does it? I don't even know how to look at my live stream. Like I'm just tell me stuff if you want, because still mic is clipping a lot. I think that's because of the bit rate. Standard OBS, it's free. Yeah, I should try to make the change to just regular OBS, because I know it's better. Turn your videos in live. Yeah, it does. I had a thumbnail for this as well, but maybe just no thumbnail is better. Who knows? Oops. I think thumbnails are better, but where was it? Edit title and description, and then you have to like click into it. But yeah, I just never. Sorry about the mic. Yeah, it's because I bet it's not clipping on YouTube. It's because I just gotta turn it down. Check. Yeah, it's weird because for a long time, my mic, I just gotta turn it down. My mic was not. It was like the opposite. It was like I couldn't even get it to clip. Should move it away from my face more. And like the setting, there's like numbers, there's like 10, 30, 40, whatever. And just in case, I don't know what I'm doing, so I'll just turn this off real quick. Now it's like 26, like it's so much lower. Allows you to set that all up from OBS. I'll check out, I'll recheck out OBS. I think it's definitely gotten better. I just have like a little panel here, So just sometimes, I'm moving it around and then it's like in my face. I don't know. I forget. This one has I forget. Thanks, dude. I mean, as you know, I don't know if you did it all yourself or if you had somebody, and anybody can tell you, it's so much prep and setup. It takes a long time. Like, my goodness. Like, it's like almost imperative that you don't try to start too big unless you got somebody to help. Yeah. So I think I'm just doing stuff. Like, after I found out that now you can dual stream or multi-stream, you did everything by yourself. Yeah, same. It's like, and you know how it is. It's a lot. Like, streaming is not straightforward. It's not simple. It takes so much. Yeah, it just takes a long time. It really does. Half my job is IT because of streams. Yeah. So okay, I'll finish this before I get too distracted, like I always do. But in regards of this, yeah, I think like writing sentences, it's a vague thing. So if you use my website, it's free. Like what you can do is like, just for perspective, when I got to Japan, studied abroad 2011 or 12, and then like, intensive classes, right? And so I start doing the intensive classes, and first day of class, they bring out this like script of paper. I'm not kidding. It was like, if you live in Japan, was it the A2? No. What's like the really big one? Was it A1? Like big old paper, and it was like folded and connected somehow. And they're like, memorize these 120 verbs in the next 2 weeks. And I was like, I only know like 5. D size. I think is it B3? No, B1. I think it's A1. I think it's called A1 paper. It's very large. And they're like, memorize 120 verbs. And I was like, oh gosh, this is tough. But you know, we did it. I forgot about 30 of them, but really like jamming that into my brain at the beginning was really good. So that's what you can do when you make sentences. How do I make sentences? They're like it's such a vague, everybody says it like, oh, you got to make sentences, bro. And it's like, okay. I like cheese. All right. I have 2 pieces of advice for like, how do I make good sentences? So you can use like my website or any flashcard thing or whatever, but it's like, take one verb, right? This doesn't have all you need, okay? But just if you kind of know what you're doing, it's like, take a verb and then take 1 or 2 of these other words and then try to put them all in one sentence. These are relevant enough that they should be able to all work together, for the most part. And then if you're really struggling, it's like, when you want to challenge yourself, like, so but and because. So but and because is what I always say, is like, that's like kind of how you really level up in creating your own sentences. If you're just like lost on how do I make sentences, think about but. Like, I like cheese, but I don't like blue cheese or something. I like blue cheese and Gruyere cheese. I don't know. I just really like cheese. I'm sorry, but so I just love my cheese. Just catching up with comments. Yeah. It's so worth it in the end. It really is. I don't know if you're still here, Greg, but yeah. But you know what? I agree with ChatGPT. It's nothing about pitch accent, right? That's where we're trying to be. It knows better. Real life conversations. So if possible, try to practice speaking. You can do this. Language experiment, online tutors, social media. Yeah. 私もチーズ大好き。あー、やったー。もうチーズ大好きな人もいてよかった。ちょっと心配かな。ちょっと心配してた。なんかみんな好きかなと。いや、私だけチーズ大好きです。そう。で、チーズのすごいところっていうのは、yeah, I'm not gonna go into a rant about cheese, okay? We could. All I'll say about cheese, it's very diverse. You've got your cheddar, you know, kind of like that, like kind of bitter but sweet. You got cream cheese. You can make dessert out of that. That's crazy. You got brie. That's funky. Blue. It's mold. Just saying. Ricotta. What is that stuff? Mozzarella. Why is it so melty? I don't know. Jesus. Yeah, no, like, you know, if I mean, actually, it was definitely like when the controversy was starting with you 3 years ago, whenever I had never even heard of Matt vs. Japan, dude. Like, it was really just Twitch. Everybody on Twitch, all these guys, like, you know, I hadn't studied Japanese. I didn't, like, when I started studying Japanese, there was no Japanese on YouTube. I'm sure you remember like the process, like how stuff got on here. There was like nothing. I remember like one video that I looked up and it was just like weird Osaka Ben advice. I was like, I don't know what this guy's saying. His video's still up there. I found it. Is the restream bot George? It's just him. He's doing all the work. That's what he meant when he said he's like, half my job is IT. That's what he just does. He comes in here And he's like, oh gosh, I have to type it in Twitch and YouTube. That's a pain. But when all that controversy started with you and like that was like how I learned about Matt vs. Japan. Actually, it was like through that, and I was like, you know, I saw his videos and then think, I'm not gonna get it on, you know. Yeah, I don't want to. I'm not like all about drama and stuff, but it's like, you know, he made the good videos, and I was like, cool. And then like, I don't know if it was hard evidence. Like, I don't know what the definition of that is. But I saw enough of like, you know, people outing him or whatever you want to call it, where I was just like I listened to some Discord conversations, recorded Discord conversations, and I was like, ugh, like, come on, man. Like, ugh. It just, ugh. I just, it made me very sad. It made me very sad. Working on a video actually, and I logged in to grab a comment. Then I saw your live and thought I'd stop in. Cool. Grab a comment to grab a comment. Oh, like respond to a comment? Yeah, dude. Yeah, thanks for chatting. Definitely better to chat like this, and it like definitely more real than comment to comment or whatever. So, yeah, this is me. You know, I will never claim to know anything. I know nothing. Never claim to know everything. Always happy to learn anything new. But definitely am not on the pitch accent train. That is for sure. Everybody in here can tell you that who knows me. You know, I'm sure you were the same. I'm sure you've talked about it. But it's just like, you know, when I was learning in 2012, it was like, nobody called it pitch accent. It was, from what I remember, it's just like, yeah, like different words sound different ways. I was like, oh, I'm doing a video on a comment. So I went to screenshot. Got it. Yeah, dude, I like the reaction stuff. I'm sure it's like, you know, obviously it's time and work, but it's like, it's a nice little setup, you know. It's great that you can just react to a thing and people, you know, want to hear what you have to say. It's very good. Having humility is the best thing a teacher can have. That's good to hear. I can tell you're a good guy. I'm not a good guy, but you know, nobody is good, I think, but we're just doing what I can. And yeah, humility. Have to remain humble. Otherwise, you know, you're just a know-it-all. Like, and if anything, is like, especially with social media and stuff, you know, you're gonna get found out. Like, there's no hiding, you know. People aren't stupid, you know, and the majority of, I should say, people aren't stupid, but not everybody is aware that people are trying to take advantage of them. Electron, JD is a good guy, 100%. He's had to deal with me for far too long. Yeah, we all have our skeletons, of course. Yeah, we've all done bad things. So in that sense, we're all on the same playing field, right? I'm working on being less stupid. That's a great goal. You know, you gotta, what's your short-term, mid-term, and long-term stupid goal? All right. Short-term, stop. No, I'm just kidding. It's like, but yeah, I wasn't really going to talk too much more. But I just wanted to say, like, I think after hiragana and katakana, like, just please don't, if anybody is in that position right now, like, you don't gotta, start with kanji. I always, like, kanji, is it potentially amazing for a lot of reasons? Yes. In my opinion, stay away from radicals. Like, learning radicals as a thing, I think, is a waste of time, because if you just learn regular kanji, you'll find out that a lot of those regular kanji are actually just radicals themselves. And it's like, that's what I was gonna do. All right, here. So this is the way I explained it to one of my students. Yeah, knowing that they exist, helpful. Like, let's know about, there's little things that can be very helpful, right? But here, open link, no, not link, open image in new tab. All right, what is this, guys? Okay, what is this? 何ですかこれ？教えてください。Thank you. See, Zenny? Okay, this is part of your goal. This is what we're talking about. So short term, no fruits. That's what we'll start with, okay? Short term goal. You know, we'll get there. Just step by step, right? 一つずつ。少しずつ、少しずつ。Yeah. So obviously we would just say 10 more sets of A, B, C, D. And then you like get to F and you're like, ugh. So obviously we would just call this an apple, right? So you respond apple, and then I go, why didn't you answer, oh, this is a stem, skin, flesh, seed, fruit. This is a, you know, it has skin, flesh, you know, right? So in that same way, if I gave you, you know, what's one thing? Would be, I'm just trying to think of one that's like kind of obvious. Whatever, we'll just do this one. Okay. Or like mune or something like that. It's like, okay, here's kanji, and then you're like, oh, so this is kuki tanekawa. これはリンゴですか？リンゴです。これはリンゴです。リンゴですね。Kuki, tane, kawa. Right? So this is why it's like, okay, same with kanji. Like, if you know all the radical names, cool. But like, if I ask you, what is this? How do I read it? What is it? What's this? And then a Japanese person will always say, kusuri. Right? And then English, medicine. Okay? That is not the kanji for apple is this. Just ignore it. It's not really, it's not real. Okay. Right? They're not going to say, oh, you don't know this kanji? Okay, the top one, this is kusakamuri. This is the top radical. Bottom, there's these radicals, and also blah, blah, blah. It's like, one of the few, I teach that a couple of radicals are very helpful. One of them is kusakamuri, which you don't have to know the name for it, but it's the little thing on, I don't know how to write it, but the little thing on top that goes like this, it implies that it has something to do with plants or vegetation. That's helpful. I think that's usually very helpful. So you can identify. Mushi is another one. Sometimes like any kind of bug, it'll have like mushi in the kanji. That kind of stuff is helpful. But like, you don't need to learn the radical for that. Just learn the word and kanji bug. And then when you see it and you know it, you'll be like, oh, it's a bug. Okay. But we don't explain apples like that. We just say, this is an apple. Okay. Or just apple. Ringo. 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 That's it. So no need to overcomplicate. No need to overcomplicate like what it is. It does help to know the name of all the radicals. Japanese people tell you how to write kanji with this. They do sometimes. So I'll just say I'll agree because I use them sometimes. I don't know all the names for sure. The one I really always will remember is Kusakamuri because it was my ex-girlfriend's name. So she would always say it. So Kusakamuri, and I learned it through that. I was like, oh, I just keep hearing this one. And in certain kanji that like where we used to live, one of the places had it over it. Yeah. And so it's like, I don't know about you, but it's like, I never really studied a class about like, oh, this is like this one. It's called like that. Yeah, nobody remembers it all. I think it's always like let's just say it's a case-by-case basis. So it's like, depending where you live or who you know, right? You might might hear those names of those radicals and then go ahead and learn them, right? It's like, learn as needed. Almost like, you know how like with drug, like medicine, we say take as needed. That's like, yeah, learn as needed. Right? Like we don't have to go out and learn, oh, I have to study I have to study this. Can you write Japanese by hand? Yes. I know how to write Japanese. Right? It's like flesh or moon, but it also comes from it's like, come on. Like, you know what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, like, why did I... like, when I see... oh, this must have something to do with the moon, right? It's like, who cares anyway? Like, just learn the kanji one by one. Like, I learned it. It was mune. I'm done. You know? I didn't have to learn that it was chest area, middle, body, and moon. That means chest. It's like, you know, there's already enough stuff to learn in Japanese. Like, let's reduce the burden. The trouble with having nothing associated with the radicals is my brain will filter them out as nonsense. So that's why I named them myself. Yeah. Go ahead. Like, name your own things. Like, I always tell people this story, but this one, like the 3 things on the left, that is another important one that I teach. It means like water, right? That I think it's suihen. I always forget what they're called. I think it's called suihen, but I honestly learned kanji initially. Yeah, same here. Like, they didn't start with radicals. They start with radicals in Japanese school. That's not what we need. Like, it's like excessive, right? It can definitely help, and over time, sansui, thank you. Yeah. I love dissecting. It's fun, right? Like, dissecting it can be fun. Just find your own way of enjoying it. That's what the most important part is. Like, all I'm saying is, the most important thing is, like, there's a group of people out there and they're worried. They're like worried, oh my gosh, radical. I have to learn the radicals because somebody on the internet said I have to learn radicals to be good at Japanese. And all I want to say is, no, you don't. It's okay. You don't got to do all that, you know? You don't even need them. I'm the same way. George is like, I just learned them. They just taught them. Okay. Like, the first kanji I ever learned was this and this. Those were the first kanji. I don't know why I just looked them up. I was curious about kanji. That was in 2008 or 2009. And that's Asahi and then like Anzu. I was like, I don't even remember why I looked those up, but I just did. And then, like, they're both pretty irrelevant, but it's like, okay, a long time after I learned that means, you know, day or sun. Asahi is the beer. I think that's probably what gave me the idea. And then I looked it up, and like this literally means like the rising sun. Right? But it's just like, it's not very important. Even the radicals, like 9 and day, like whatever. Probably doesn't mean 9 when it's like the long one. I don't know. But the important part is you don't need to go learning about radicals, and you certainly don't need to learn all of them. It's good. I like what Zenny said. Mizumi is actually, oh, interesting, right? And it's like, what, a flesh of water? Actually, Fletch, which was surprising. Yeah. Right. So they don't even like other great reasons. Like, they also don't have perfect rhyme or reason anyway. Like, not all the time. So it's like, you know, let's not create another level of reading and thought process to get to kanji when we can just call it an apple, right? Let's just call it an apple. It'll be okay. Anyway, so don't got to do that first. And I think I always say van, verb, adjective, noun. If you don't know where to start, you know, conjugations of these. So future, again, I call it now later tense, and past tense, and then the negatives of those. And if you can, the polite / plain versions of those. That's what I teach my students first, is like, let's make sure we understand what is Japanese. Like, I told you, dude. Yeah, we're like 100% on the same thoughts of that. Yeah, that's why I was like, you know, you're one of the very few people that I can even stand, because it's just like, you know, it does. You get it. You know, you've been doing this much longer than I have, and it's just keigo. Yeah. So it's just I just wish there was more people kind of teaching in a similar way, or at least less people teaching in the weird way. What can you do? What can you do? 敬語が好きじゃない。そうね。Yeah, you don't need to use keigo. It's not initially. Like, it's always about your goals. What are your goals? Like, you don't have to use keigo. I think if you are at a certain level, which your level right now, like when you go out and talk to random people in the world or at konbini, yeah, like you should probably be using polite. Like I always say it's like, if you are good enough, you kind of have created a responsibility for yourself to also speak well enough, or else you can be interpreted as like I hear you speaking Japanese, dude. Like, let's be civil here. But if you're like a beginner, like it doesn't matter. If you're like struggling, you'd be like, taberu, hi, taberu. It's like nobody's gonna. Oh, daijoubu, you okay? You sweet little Japanese baby, you. Like nobody's like, he didn't use the polite form. Get him. And then all the Japanese people swarm like the chickens in Legend of Zelda. It's true. It happens. It happens. Yeah. Yep. Finally found the XKCD that I was reminded of when you were discussing those chat GBD recommendations and talking about camera tone. Oh, cool. I'm gonna look at this. This is very interesting. What is this about? Is this like for learning English? What is this for? You have to know it because people talk to you in it. Yeah, like, and like I always say, like just copy. It's the what I consider the most complex like element of Japanese. The further you go on, your mastery of when do I speak when do I use polite and plain, and you kind of mesh in between and go in and out of it. How polite? When do I do I start polite and then get less polite? Can I, it's very complex and way more so in the business setting. But you don't have to learn it unless you're going to be you're like, oh, I want to learn business Japanese and stuff like that. The implicit knowledge assumed by people who have forgotten having to learn the basics. Even when they're trying to compensate experts in anything. Yes. Japanese from zero is literally what kept me learning Japanese early on. I'm very grateful for Japanese from Zero's channel, says Electron Baby. JD is pushing me to the next level though. Yeah. I mean, talk about like a real contribution to the Japanese community, creating a textbook that's not for the classroom necessarily, only if he streams. Gomen-nasai. Yeah. But yeah, and I know Zenny, you used Japanese from zero too, right? So, big contribution. I don't know how you did it, man, because like seriously, kudos. Like I've tried the idea. Oh, it's okay. I understand, and I mean I understand, and I don't blame you. I mean, I didn't use the best words. Like in my mind, I was just like, I wasn't even like 5 minutes. That's way too long. I can do it in 2 seconds. Like, wasn't my thought at all. But then I looked at what I said. I was like, yeah, without, you just gotta be careful on like, I mean, this, you can't please everybody, but yeah, obviously I wasn't meaning to sound like that. And yeah, I mean 5 minutes is plenty good. Like but textbooks, dude, I don't know how you did it. It's very hard, very, 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 very hard to make a textbook. It's like, how do you fit it all in the order you want, in the way? It just takes so much time and planning. Very hard. KFC is the bomb. The Iru Eru rule changed my life. Yeah, I mean, you're the one who taught me about that, Zenny. I think that was like, there's lots of little things people have taught me since I started streaming and doing everything. And it was like, wow, like, that's really great. I never even noticed. Like, you know, of course, I learned eventually in my own ways. And then it's like, but it can often be very helpful to like those little tidbits that make somebody go, oh, which I've talked to you guys about it sometimes, and one day I'll get a video out for it, but finally figured out like how to explain the over-encompassing Japanese grammar rule, and I'm very happy. It took me 4 years to really figure it out, so. His videos are the best, especially the one where they had a video editing competition. Yeah. Yeah, it's fun. There's I just I like anybody who actually just talks to people. And because if you don't talk to people, then your marketing is bad and you're not in touch with the actual whatchamacallit, community. I have to go now as my friend has arrived. Yeah, dude, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it. I'll check you about again. Peace out. Peach out. That boy's stuck on fruit. He saw that apple. He just can't get enough. He's like, peach out. See you, dude. You have to see it if you haven't. It will not help anyone's Japanese. Lol, but it's hilarious. Yeah, I'm a peace out too. I'm hungry. I really want to organize this today before I have more lessons and more stuff to do. I may or may not make this a stream day, and like definitely do it at this time slot. And then probably talk about similar things, like the same main idea at nighttime too. I know it might be boring, but it's easier for me, and I just want to, you know, I started streaming at nighttime here. You guys, some of you know that. You know, I just want to do something and meet new people, meet different people, whatever. So to get all caught up in learning again, maybe. You tempted? They call me the Satan of Japanese. Because I tempt you to learn. That's how we do it. You just become the evil Japanese who reverse psychologies you to learning Japanese. That's the way. That's how they teach us. Don't be Satan, kids. Don't be Satan. All right. I'm a peace out. Thank you. Before I destroy my throat again. Time to turn off the Sue Fammy and our Brown Con. Glad to see you talking with George. There's a period that he was the YouTuber that I watched the most, and you were the streamer. So, oh, cool. Yeah. We had an unfortunate interaction on YouTube, and he made a. Well, you can go find it for yourself. But he made a response video to one of my comments. And he was like, okay, Japanese language mentor. But, you know, he's just doing it for content. I get it. And to be honest, I feel for him because there was one video he did recently where it was like, there's one video recently where I think it was Matt. To be honest, I didn't watch the entire thing, but I think it was like Matt versus Japan emailing somebody, like a scam email again, like referencing his name, saying like, oh, you know, it's great because Japanese from Zero Guy talked about it. So that's why I have great confidence. It's 25% off only this week. And like something like that. And I'm just like, ugh, like get out of here. Like, I just can't imagine how that feels. So I think, you know, I mean, he's a big name, right? So it's just like, you after enough crap from people, you know, you kind of get conditioned to expect everybody to be crappy to you. Very unfortunately, but you know, so he thought I was like trying to diss him or something, but I wasn't. And so I'm glad he came in here because we got to actually like talk a little bit. So yeah, no, definitely. I just was like, I like barely even like was like, oh, I know this topic. Just posted a comment. Like my expectation is like nobody looks at my comments anyway. I just kind of do it for myself. Like I'm like, yeah, okay, blah blah blah. Like, and then you know, but I guess I got to be more careful. He was like, you know, you never know. Somebody could make a video about your comment or whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll be more careful in the future when I'm saying stuff and stuff like that. So, well, I will try to clean this and I'll use a credit card or whatever to clean the other thing. Yeah. Here, I'll get it real quick. Hold on. So you don't have to search for it because he makes a lot of videos. Ugh. He's doing a good job. I'm doing a bad job because each one of those little videos gets him about 3K views. And, you know, you just do that over and over, man, like, and he's monetized, you know, so like, it's great. It's great for him. I would love to get to a point where I can do that. This one.
I'm gonna need you guys to calm down.
However, I do believe Deoxit contact cleaner. Ooh, oh, contact cleaner. Maybe that's a good one. Yeah, this is the video, his response video. You know, again, he's just working. So, no hard feelings or anything. I just wanted at least to be like, hey, I'm not didn't mean to like be mean or whatever. It's just misinterpretation. So, he's my senpai, you know? So, love you guys. Thank you for hanging out. For anyone who followed, thank you. For those who subbed, so followers, we had Shobondama, if you're still here. Arigatou gozaimasu. Bridge, thank you for the sub. Lilix, thank you for the sub. And Greggles, I'll just call you Greg. Mr. Greg, arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you so much. I had fun. I was not expecting to stream for 2 hours, but it happened. So, hey! Yay! Thank you so much. Arigato. A tier 1 subscription. Thanks so much, Electron baby. Arigato. I really appreciate it. Little things. That's you know, people people are usually like, thank you, that's like a cup of coffee. Me, I'm like, that's 2 pieces of chicken breast. I was like, that'll be half a dinner for me. Like, I'm like, oh, or actually now Twitch is like $7 or something. It's crazy. So that's like that's dinner meat. Thank you. Yay. Arigato. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Stay classy.